Hello guys and welcome to the channel. I'm Devon if you're new here, and if you're not new, welcome back. I'm happy to see you. It's the start of the year and I feel like this is the perfect time to do a life update. So I asked over on my Instagram if you guys had any questions for me, and I've compiled them all here and we're gonna chat. If you guys don't already, go follow me on Instagram so you can be a part of the next Q&A. I feel like I do them pretty often over there and I love connecting. I love pictures, I love chatting. Go follow me over on Insta. Before we start, a little bit about me. I'm Devon. I live in San Diego, California. I have lived here for 2 years now, which is actually insane to say out loud. The time has honestly flown by, but I've loved every minute of it. I do social media full-time, content creation. I used to have a few freelance clients and now I don't have any, so it's really just all myself right now. I'm originally from the East Coast and I really do apologize. The wind is going crazy. The first question is, do I have any tips for the girls wanting to make social media a full-time career but don't know where to start? So this is kind of a hard question for me to answer because I started on accident. I definitely very purposefully and intentionally started posting on social media, but it became a full-time thing for me on accident. I wasn't going into it with the thought of going full-time, and then just over time I built up my audience, and then that's just what I do now. But if you're going into it wanting it to be a full-time career, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I do think the best time to do that is when you have another income or you don't have many expenses. In my situation, I lived at home. I didn't have to pay rent and it was during quarantine, so I just had so much time to invest into it. But if you want it to be a full-time job, you have to put in full-time hours, whether it's waking up super early before work or staying up super late after work to go through emails, pitch yourself. It's definitely going to take a lot of effort and energy on your part up front, and it's one of the very few jobs that you don't get paid for all the work you do in the beginning. Most jobs, when you're in your training, you're paid for those hours, but in social media you're not, so you kind of have to be okay with not getting paid for a while. But then I feel like when it happens all at once. If you guys want more questions about this, I'd be happy to answer individual ones on my Instagram. It's kind of hard not knowing like your situation, but overall I would say just be as consistent as possible, put in the extra hours, and don't expect anything to come super fast. It could potentially do that. It could be an overnight success, but in most cases it's not. But best of luck to you, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll answer anything in my DMs. Another kind of job related question is tips on freelance. This is a bit of a vague question, so again, if you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them in DMs. But I don't personally have any freelance clients, and the freelance clients I had in the past, they kind of came to me. I didn't really put in any effort into finding these clients. It was all mutual connections or both seeking me out. And it wasn't that I posted something like, hey, I'm looking for a client. It was that I posted a reel and they liked how I edited the reel, and then I was on the team with her. And another question that's kind of related to this is, do I still work for the Magnolia company, and do I have other clients I work for? No, I don't work with any of those anymore. I loved working with the Magnolia company, but in the holiday season, my personal stuff just became too overwhelming that I couldn't really invest my time into Magnolia company. I still do love Cali. I love the Magnolia company as a whole. There's no bad blood. I just personally didn't have time for it. So no, I don't have any freelance clients. If you have freelance questions, you can DM me, but I don't know how helpful I'm gonna be because all of my clients were kind of brought to me with little to no effort on my part. Okay, next question is, do I have any trips that I'm looking forward to? I absolutely love this question because I have so many trips that I'm looking forward to. I think this is the year of travel. Next week, actually, I'm going to Cabo. This time next week, I will be in Cabo for my friend's 30th birthday. It's crazy that now I'm of the age where my friends are turning 30. Like, that is actually crazy. What? But yeah, we're going to Cabo for her birthday, and then next month I am going to Mexico City to do like a content trip with some of my friends in San Diego who do social media as well. I'm very excited for that. In March, I am trying to pitch to a hotel to take my dad to like a golf resort. I really want to go on a trip with him. I think it would be so fun, and he's a big golfer. I started golf to bond with my dad in high school, so I just think this would be such a fun trip for us to go on together. And then in April, my sisters and I are planning a trip to Asia. Not entirely sure if this one is like a surefire gonna happen yet, but we did plan out the dates. We looked at Airbnbs, and basically all we need to do is pull the trigger and purchase the tickets. It is like a little scary because I don't know, there's so like the language barrier. I'm a little nervous about that. But if you guys have any places in Asia that you really like, we're looking at Tokyo and South Korea. But if you guys have any recommendation in those areas, let me know. There's other little potential trips coming up in the first half of the year, but I'm not entirely sure that they're like surefire gonna happen. And then towards the end of the year, I have a big trip. I don't want to talk about it until I know that it's for sure gonna happen, but it's a big, almost life-altering trip. So stay tuned, stay tuned. This question I absolutely love so much, and it's how's pottery going and what are my pottery goals? If you guys don't know, I took a 5-week pottery course the end of last year. Absolutely loved pottery. I really wanted to get more into it after that 5-week course, so I went ahead and got a membership at a ceramic studio near where I live. It's the most stunning ceramic studio. It's actually the best place to do pottery and be creative, and I absolutely love going there. Pottery for me is something that I'm happy to be bad at it in the beginning. I still am not the best at it, but I'm learning slowly but surely. Yesterday was the first day that I ever threw a tall vase above like 6 inches on a wheel, and it's just a lot of clay. I was nervous to use a lot of clay, and I finally did it. I went early so that I could be by myself and try it out, and I failed a few times, but I got one that looks so stunning and so beautiful, and I'm going back today actually after I finish filming this to finish it up. But I have been loving pottery. I don't know if I have any specific goals out of it. I think so many of my hobbies turn into money-making schemes, and well, not money-making schemes, but they turn into a job for me, and I would love for pottery to just be a hobby. It would be lovely to sell my pieces because I make so many and don't really have anything to do with them all. But for now, I love making them and gifting them to my family and my friends for their birthday or holidays. I made all of my family members a pottery piece for Christmas. I didn't make one for my dad, or I hadn't finished the one that I made for my dad. But he's moving into a new house this year, so I'm gonna give it to him as more of a housewarming present because I just hadn't had time to finish it before the holidays. I absolutely love pottery. My goals with it are just to keep going and keep making cool things. What is one experience that you wish to have this year? Honestly, I really want to move. I absolutely love where I live right now, but I'm ready for just a little bit of a change. I think that'll be coming towards the end of the year, and I am very excited. Again, none of this is like set in stone for sure gonna happen, but I feel like whenever I decide things, if I feel calm and peace about it, I know that it's meant to happen. Every time I've moved, I've not really had much of a plan to do it, but I've just always known, okay, I'm gonna do this in this month, it's gonna happen, and it's always happened. So I'm really trusting my gut, trusting God that this is gonna be successful, and I don't know, I'm very excited to share the journey with you guys on social media because I feel like it'll be super fun to watch and to look back on and to live, of course. I always talk about this with my friends, especially the ones who have lived or are from the East Coast, but someone asked, what do I miss most about living on the East Coast? I can't explain it. I love the East Coast. It's probably where I feel the most at home. I felt like this the second I moved to San Diego, that I just belong on the East Coast. Not to say anything against San Diego, but I feel like the West Coast to me is a hotel, whereas the East Coast is like your grandmother's living room. That's the only way I can explain it. It's so cozy, so homey, so familiar, and I probably feel like that because I grew up on the East Coast. I lived in Charleston, I lived in Northern Virginia, I went to school in South Carolina, I grew up going to Hilton Head Island, and that's the only thing I have to compare as far as living at the beach. Right now I live at the beach, but it's just so different than when I lived at the beach when I was living in Charleston or going to the beaches every summer in Hilton Head. It's just so different, and I think the thing I miss most about the East Coast is just how cozy it feels. The next question is very silly. My cousin asked me who is my favorite cousin and why. I'm gonna say Sydney because none of the other cousins are watching this, so Sydney, you got this one, Sydney. How do I prioritize mental health on the rough days? Everyone has rough days, and fortunately, I live 2 blocks away from the ocean. That is how I prioritize my mental health. I go, leave my phone at home, walk to the ocean, sit there for a little bit. I also love going to my pottery class. Really anything that I can do to be out of my house and to get off of my phone. I love going for a walk. Generally, the thing that I do is move my body in some way. There's plenty of things that I do, and they're pretty much all outside. They're all outside of my house to really break the cycle of the negative thoughts that I'm in. The next question is, what is my most Delulu dream or goal for 2024? To be honest, I don't really have many Delulu goals or dreams. Everything that I think up in my head that I want to complete or accomplish are all very attainable. They're definitely a challenge, but not really delusional. I think my biggest goal for this year is probably to move, which we already chatted about. Would love to live on my own. So I guess that could be my most delusional dream, is living on my own. While I'd love to move, I don't think that's delusional, but living on my own could be a tad bit delusional, especially in the way that I want to live on my own. I feel like I'm being so cryptic with these things, but I just don't want to talk about things till they're set in stone. Okay, this question, I want it to be yes so badly, and it's, am I swimming this winter? I want to get a group of girls together to go swimming once a week in the morning, and I have been trying to do this basically since I moved here, but I can't get people to go with me. And I don't know if you guys understand the benefits of swimming in the morning. I would love it if one of my friends went with me, but I just don't think that's gonna be a possibility. I kind of lost hope on that one. But if any of you guys live in the San Diego area and you would be down to do a weekly cold plunge and then coffee afterwards, please let me know, because I have been dying to do this and just like get community together, meet new people. But yes, I will be swimming this winter. I'm not entirely sure when. I haven't swam in the ocean actually in such a long time in San Diego, but I will be swimming this winter, especially if it's like a sunny winter. I will definitely be swimming. It's just so good for you. It feels great, wakes me up. I love swimming in the ocean. This question is, what are my favorite stores to shop at and where do I get my style inspo? Most of my inspo comes from Pinterest, sometimes TikTok. A lot of people, I love a lot of fashion girls on there. Instagram as well. But where I shop at such a variety of places. Been loving the Lullaby Club and Meshki lately. I am in a no-buy month, so I can't really buy any clothes. And it's okay because I don't need to buy any clothes. I do love also Jerf Avenue as always, but any outfit that you see me post, I have most likely put it on my Like to Know It, so you can see where all of my clothes are from. And there's links, and it's always linked down below. This question is, do I have any relationship tea? I feel like I always have relationship tea, but it's not for the vlog. Unfortunately, that is one area of my life that I just don't talk about on social media, and it's a boundary for me that I just, you know, I'm never going to feel compelled to like get online and talk about my personal relationships. There's no relationship tea for you. Maybe one of these days I will share, but as for right now, it's just, I love keeping that stuff private for me and my mans. How long do you think you will stay in San Diego? This question has so many layers to it because I love San Diego, could see myself living here, having a family here, and staying for the rest of my life. But as I've gotten older, I've just become increasingly more, homesick is not the word, but something similar. You know, I've just really been hyper aware of the fact that I'm never gonna live close to my family again, close to all of my family members, and I really want to have like one last hurrah with them. I got another question asking about how my family is, so I'm gonna kind of join that in with this one, but I always forget that my YouTube videos when I lived at home, a lot of them my family was in, so sometimes I like watch them. And I was watching them the other day, like not crying, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like I miss that period of life when we were all at home and like just camping and going on random road trips. I would love to have a little bit more time closer to my family and then go from there. But yeah, I don't know how long I'll stay in San Diego. To be determined, honestly. Come back in like 6 months and my answer probably will be completely different. But I do love San Diego. The last question that I'm gonna answer is, what am I prioritizing in 2024? I do love this question because I think it ties all the loose ends of this little Q&A together. But what I'm prioritizing this year is travel. Last year, I kind of dipped my toe into it, but specifically work travel. I really want to establish myself as a travel content creator, and I have a few trips coming that are for my job, and I'm just so thankful and grateful to all of you for following me along on this journey and supporting everything that I do, because I literally would not be able to have these insane opportunities without you guys watching and cheering along from the sidelines. So I really am grateful for everything that you guys have done for me, and yeah, I'm prioritizing travel this year. So if there's anywhere that you are looking to travel this year, comment it down below and maybe I'll do some digging. I need to find some new places to go to as well. I'd love to do more Mexico travel, and I'm actually taking some Spanish classes to make that a little bit easier for me. But there's so many places that are so accessible from Southern California, like Hawaii. You know, there's just a ton of places that I could go. Let me know where you're traveling to this year, and also comment down below what you're prioritizing. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've made it to this point, comment these emojis. I really do appreciate you for being here, and I hope that you guys are having the greatest start to your new year. And I'll see you guys next week. I think the next video is going to be a pack with me for Cabo, and then it'll be the Cabo video. All right, bye guys.